Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Manatazak with GMS Ancient of Days in Los Angeles, currently teaching with the Akim in Sherman Oaks. And today, through the Spirit, I want to get into a lesson that's titled, "The Devil is About to Show His Horns." Okay, now what inspired this lesson through the Spirit is seeing the continued uptick of prophecies being fulfilled. Okay, you recently had the U.S. launch an attack on Venezuela by order of Donald Trump, and they kidnapped the president Maduro of that country and his wife. Now, on a world stage, you can see how prevalent that is, because put yourselves in the situation of Venezuela as a U.S. citizen. That would be like another country coming in and attacking us and kidnapping President Donald Trump and his wife. Okay, that's a major political move, especially when you consider that Venezuela is rich in oil and resources. Okay, now through the Spirit, we know, pursuant to prophecy, that before this so-called white man goes down, who is Esau Edom, pursuant to prophecy, okay, that he is going to inflict his wrath upon the earth, particularly the elect of Israel, who's calling this man out to his face and basically proclaiming his downfall. And we're about to witness this in great abundance. Now, through the Spirit, we're going to begin in the book of Revelation chapter 12. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect, because this exhortation is very important to keep us in the mind frame of what we're involved in and how important it is that we continue to push this word, okay, until the famine of the word hits and we're no longer able to hit the streets and put up these lessons. We've been given a great responsibility, that we, being the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that have been given the unction to teach. So without further ado, we're going to begin in the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. And it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Okay, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Okay, and this particular scripture, this particular precept, was the inspiration for this lesson through the Spirit. Now, when you see that word devil, okay, most people will assume it's talking about a red demon with a pitchfork, but no. Devil just means deceiver. Okay, and they're the ones that are currently in power, ruling. And when I say they, of course, I'm speaking about Esau Edom, because it's obvious that the so-called white man is in the power seat across the globe. Okay, now when it says "come down onto you," the devil has come down onto you. That come down is going to a shift from covert rule to open, aggressive control. Okay, once again, that shift from covert rule to open, aggressive control. Okay, Babylon the Great is known as the hammer of the earth, and under Donald Nero Trump, he's asserting his dominance over these lesser countries. Point being, the recent attack on Venezuela, and you got other powerful armed countries around the world, including Russia and China, that are demanding that the U.S. let them go. Okay, because Venezuela is allies onto Russia and China, and they're trying to join onto BRICS if they haven't already. Okay, I believe they were in the process of joining BRICS, or they have joined BRICS. Okay, but America has attacked this country that's rich in resources. Okay, so it's a conflict of interest. Okay, these are all small insights into the theater of war and the different chess pieces that are being maneuvered around the world with these governments and their armies. Okay, because we're in the time of great war, great destruction. Okay, now in that same scripture, it says he's going to come down onto us having great wrath. Now that great wrath equals an increased oppression. Okay, including war, economic strangulation, and surveillance. Okay, and that economic strangulation is coming from the ditching of the current monetary system, this current fiat currency, the FRNs, the Federal Reserve notes, or in other words, the dollar. Okay, the monetary system of legal tender is being replaced with a digital currency, the CBDC, the central banking digital currency, which paves the way, of course, to the MOTB, which is one of the main prophecies that we're looking to be fulfilled. Okay, because it's already here, it just hasn't been made mandatory, right? That MOTB system, and of course the surveillance going into the different technologies that are abound and the different tech companies that are rising up. Okay, now continuing on in that scripture, Revelation 12:12, it ends by saying he's doing all this because he knows that he has a short time. Okay, and that short time is basically going into the end of Esau Edom's rulership. And what happens at the end of Esau's rulership, pursuing the prophecy? Okay, it's the approaching rise of Jacob in his kingdom in righteousness. And these are the times that we're living in now. And you have to understand that before a kingdom was transitioned to another kingdom under a different nation, there was never a peaceful transition of power. So best believe Esau is going to fight tooth and nail to keep and withhold his authority in this world. Okay, that's just the way it is. And here we are in 2026 officially, right? And as the saying goes, major empires usually only last 250 years before their downfall. And 2026 marks the 250th year that America has been a nation, if I'm not mistaken. So that we're in a great pivot point in history right now and in prophecy. And that's why the prophets are standing upon their watch reporting on these things, so you could see the severity of the times that we're living in. Okay, now just to prove, okay, that this devil is not talking about an actual demon. Okay, when we talk about the devil, when we talk about the wicked, we're going to go to some elementary scriptures through the Spirit, just so those that are new to the understanding can get the full breakdown of what we're talking about. And we're going to begin the book of Job 9:24, which reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein who is he?" Okay, now the wicked equals Esau Edom, or the so-called white man, because there are three classifications of men on the earth. Okay, we just went over who the wicked is. Okay, there's also the sons of man. Okay, and the sons of God. The sons of man being the other nations, and the sons of God being the Israelites, who are you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. We are the true Israelites pursuing the prophecy, okay, and pursuant to the curses that befell our nation. Okay. Now, if this earth is in his hand, then what this means is this is a geopolitical domain. Okay, this is not a spiritual or a spirit in hell, so to speak. Okay, the fact that the earth is given into his hand lets you know that this isn't talking about the devil ruling in hell. He rules on earth, but he rules through men. Okay, the so-called white man. All right, and we could prove that through the Spirit by going to the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 7. Okay, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 7. It says, 4 and 17, Salaki. Book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. And it reads, "This manner is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over at the faces of men." Okay, so as we read in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Well, who has the authority to give the earth over into another nation's rule? That's Yahweh B'Shem Ashai. Why? Because we just read in Daniel 4 and 17 that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomsoever he will. This is now Esau Edom's time to rule. Okay, and the scripture ends by saying he set it up over at the bases of men. Esau Edom is that base man. He's the lowest of the nations. Okay, and the Lord set him up for a purpose. Okay, let's continue on in the book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 44. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 44, and this is a red letter. So this is the words of Yahweh Shai, and it reads, "Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." Okay, now we use this to show that Yahweh Shai is speaking about a specific lineage. Okay, now once again, that word devil goes into deceiver. Okay, and the scriptures say that you are of your father the devil. Okay, and he was a murderer from the beginning. That word devil goes into liar, murderer, deceiver. Okay, this aligns today with Esau Edom. Okay, this is Esau Edom's MO. This is how he regained a lot of his power and has upheld his power by ways of lying, of murdering, of deceiving. Okay, this is in his nature, right? Let's get Genesis 25 and 23. Genesis chapter 25, verse 23, and it reads, "And the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels." Letting you know that the twins that Rebekah gave birth to, Esau and Edom, were two separate nations, two manners of people. Okay? Some people will ask, well, how can a melanated couple give birth to a so-called non-melanated person? You see that here today in society. Okay? But also, too, this is how Yahweh Shemashai determined it to be done. Okay? Just as the 12 tribes of Israel are different tribes, we belong to the same nation. But we're recognized today as different sects of people. The so-called Negroes, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans, right? We're 12 tribes, but we're one nation. We're one people. But in this case, Yahweh Shemashai brought forth two separate nations from the same parents. And this is what the scripture is talking about. Okay? Continuing on, it says, "And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger." Okay, and this is going into Esau and Edom being born. Right? Jacob versus Esau, the everlasting conflict. This perpetual Game of Thrones that we're still playing on to this day. But prophecy has written that the Israelites are going to stand tall at the end in righteousness. And we are in that transition of power now. Okay? So let's go to Daniel 7 and 25 to prove why the time is short. Okay, because prophecy must be fulfilled. If it is written, then it shall come to pass. This is Daniel 7 and 25. And it reads, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of times." Okay, so what this is going into is that Esau has a set period of rulership. Okay, once complete, the judgment follows. Now, when it goes into that time and times and dividing of times, that's speaking about 350 years. Okay, from what was it, 1619 to 1969, from the point of slavery to the point of Abba Bivens coming on the scene, right? And preaching the Old and New Testament, waking up the Israelites. Okay, Elijah coming back in the flesh, right? That's that prophecy being fulfilled. Who we know today to be Abba Bivens, whether you believe it or not, whether you could receive it or not. Okay, we are in the time now, pursuing the prophecy of Esau Edom's downfall. Okay, but what that means is he is about to come down with great wrath because he's going to try to hold on to his power. Okay, let's get Habakkuk 2 and 3. Our next precept is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." So the vision is yet for an appointed time. The prophecy is yet for an appointed time. Okay, once everything is set in place, then the said prophecy will be fulfilled, and we are in that time now. Because as Habakkuk 2 and 3 says, at the end it shall speak and not lie, and we are seeing it speaking through the different things that are playing out across the globe that the prophets stand upon their watch are reporting on. Okay? It says, though it tarry, wait for it. Though it seems like it's prolonging, continue to wait. Because certain things need to be in place, okay, before that proverbial domino drops and everything follows behind it. Okay? It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. It will surely come. Okay? It's not going to prolong. And the fact that we're seeing these prophecies set up and in place to be fulfilled lets us know that we are in that time through the Spirit. And the Wadi Yahweh Shema Shai for that. Okay? Because the end is scheduled. Okay? And the devil knows prophecy, which is why he's trying to fight against it. Okay? Because the fact that he knows prophecy shows you that he's moving in panic. And when he moves in panic, that leaves way to wrath. Because he knows that there's nothing he can do to stop the word and the plan of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Get the book of Psalms 37, beginning at verse 12. And it reads, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. You see? So the Most High already sees Esau's collapse. It's already been written. It's already been ordained. We just have to wait out the series of events leading up to that downfall, because everything happens in succession. Okay? So, and this also proves that Esau Edom's wrath comes from his fear. Okay? That the words that are written are truly going to come to pass. Okay? It comes from his fear, not his strength. Because Yahweh Shema Shai is the one that set him up, and he's the one that's going to bring him down. Okay? So when you ask, or when one asks, what does that great wrath look like? Okay? The things that we're reporting on that are happening across the globe and are as yet to be fulfilled. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6 and 15 to answer that question, just to show you what to expect in these last days. The things that are even on the horizon. Revelation 6, beginning at verse 15, it says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the den of the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So the things that are going to take place before that great judgment, okay, including martial law, famine, okay, tyranny, and ultimately war, is the ICBMs. These intercontinental ballistic missiles, they're going to be shot off and they're going to detonate on their particular targets. Okay, most of all, Babylon the Great, which is destined to be destroyed. Okay, but it lets you know that there's going to be a plethora of people that are going to hide themselves in these deep underground military bunkers, because they know the wrath of the Lord is coming. Okay, and they know exactly who's bringing this judgment. Okay, but at the end of the day, the Lord has ordained who's going to make it, and he has ordained who's going to be destroyed. And in that same hand, for those elites and the different kings of the earth of these other nations, he has ordained also who is going to survive this wrath to be put as the first crop of slaves in the kingdom of heaven under the righteous Israelites. Okay, and these are the times that we're living in. All right, let's get Micah 7 and 2. Because ultimately there's no escape from the wrath of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's get Micah, where are we at? Micah 7. That's not okay. No. Bear with me. This is the book of Micah chapter 7, verse 2. And it reads, the good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. Okay, So this is going into the moral collapse, violence being normalized, and ultimately the righteous being oppressed. Okay, and the men of the Lord have been oppressed, since their inception, and it's only going to increase to the point where there's going to even be martyrs amongst us. Okay, but we still have to stand strong in our faith and continue to keep the main thing, because prophecy has stated that the elect are going to win at the end. Okay, and that's the beautiful thing. We already have the victory through faith in Yahweh Shai. Okay, let's get a second Esdras in the Apocrypha, chapter 15, verse 5. And it reads, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." Okay, that should be plain and simple. "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." Okay, so this is what's destined, what's coming. Okay, and it's already begun on a low level. Okay, it's already begun on a low level. Civil unrest, nation against nation, okay, as well as the internal collapse of Babylon the Great, which is America. Let's jump to chapter 16. We're staying in Second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 21 and 22. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." Wow. So what is this speaking about? This is basically speaking about the false peace before the collapse. Okay, sudden destruction after complacency. Okay, and this is taking place in spades, even as we speak. Just look at all the testimonies on social media of people that are catching hell. And that hell is only going to continue to increase. So if you aren't under the protective hedge of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, you're going to be through out here. Okay? And then there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay? So why, someone will ask, well, why is he targeting Israel? When I say Israel, I mean the true Israelites. Okay? Ultimately, it's for the blessing. Okay, the blessing that he lost, that he's trying to reattain through carnal means. Okay, but ultimately the scripture wasn't written for him to win. Okay, the Israelites are going to overcome at the end. Let's get Revelation 12 and 17. It says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai and Mashiach." This is the elect. Okay. This is talking about the elect. That woman equals the Israelites, the 12 tribes. Okay? It says the dragon was wroth with the woman and wanted to make war with the remnant of her seed. So this lets you know that his main focus is to get rid of the elect of Israel. But he's not going to be able to. Okay? And the dragon, they're going to continue to persecute the remnant until the end. Okay, that's specifically those waking up to their identity. Okay, as the scripture proclaims. Let's get Amos 3 and 2. Because he's ultimately going to fail. Amos 3 and 2, because Amos, the 3rd chapter, goes into the Lord rescuing his people. Okay, actually, I'll begin at the top. This is Amos 3. At the top, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." So when it says bring again the captivity, that basically means to take out of slavery. Okay, it says Judah and Jerusalem because we were split into two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. But pursuant to Ezekiel the 37th chapter, the two sticks coming together, we are once again on one accord through the Spirit. Okay, verse 2, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." Okay, so judgment begins with Israel, and that awakening triggers a backlash. Okay, so the Lord is going to judge these other nations for the part they had in taking Israel under under their servitude, so to speak. Okay? And this is a beautiful time that we're living in. All right? So how does it end? How does it all end? Pursuing the prophecy, pursuing to the scriptures. Obadiah 1:18. It says, "In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Esau for stubble." Okay, the house of Jacob representing the southern kingdom, the house of Joseph representing the northern kingdom, the house of Esau representing Esau-Edom, the so-called white man. It's letting you know that the Israelites together are going to be like a fire and a flame, and Esau for stubble. Okay? It says, "And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Hashem Mashai has spoken it." So what this means is there's going to come a time where there's going to be a total destruction of not only Esau-Edom's system, okay, but of the nation itself. There's no spiritual redemption for the nation of Edom. Okay, point blank, period. All right, now let's jump to Revelation chapter 20. Revelation 20, and we'll begin at the top. And it reads, And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Okay, so when you go through the history, this is going to Yahushai using Septimius Severus, okay, to take down Rome, ancient Rome, right? Because it talks about his deadly wound being healed, right? Start at the top. It says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand." That bottomless pit representing Europe's lack of resources. Okay, it says, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent." Okay, letting you know that this old serpent from the Garden of Eden, okay, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. This is going into Esau-Edom, okay, being bound, right? It says, verse 3, it says, "And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season." That little season started in the 1400s. Okay? He is being loosed now. That little season is the season that he's had now from the time of the 1400s all the way to this current 2026. Okay? We are now at the end of that little season. Okay? And he's about to be done away with. It's going to be the end of lies, the end of global deception, and ultimately a transition of kingdoms. Okay? The new Roman Empire is about to fall, and this empire is not going to be healed. It is going to be destroyed. Okay? Let's get 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. This will be our closing precept. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth," proving that once Esau-Edom's rulership is over, the Israelites are going to rule forever, and they're going to rule forever in righteousness. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach us things of ours in truth and sincerity. This has been your brother Manatazak. Until next lesson, Shalom.